My name's Daniel Merriweather. I'm a singer-songwriter from Melbourne, and we're at Homebake. And hey,
we certainly are at Homebake. It's we'll never forget your kind of end of the night performance last time, 2009.
Really?
And that was the last Homebake. What were your experiences like then?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I love Homebake. I love performing in Australia, full stop. But it's kind of special to be invited to come back here, you know, because it's, you know, I think it's a sacred kind of like group of, I don't know, good energy here, and it feels like you're doing something bigger for Australian music when you play at something like this. So it feels good.
Well, back then you were promoting Love and War.
Yeah.
It's 2 years later. Where are you sitting with new material?
I'm working on a new album now and a mixtape, so I'm just chipping away at it. But yeah, I'm out in New York working on that, so it's kind of nice to come back here, have a little bit of a break, and then get back to it when I go back.
The hair's grown a little bit since the last visit
Yeah.
as well. We certainly haven't been sitting idly. You've been working with a lot of other artists. What have been some of the highlights over the last couple of years for you?
Oh man, I mean, I actually did a song with Bamboos a little while ago, which was kind of cool. Last time I was back in Australia, I did something with them, so that was really fun. I got a bunch of stuff. I mean, I did stuff with Wale on his last mixtape, and a bunch of stuff. I mean, it's just been really cool to kind of like spread my wings and like just get out there amongst it. You know?
And it hasn't been the easiest year for you. You've lost some friends over the year.
Yeah.
I just read on Twitter a couple of weeks ago that just a school friend of yours passed away.
Yeah.
Is it hard for you being in New York when things like that are happening?
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, I hadn't seen him in years, and it was just a shock because, I mean, you always just think your school friends are going to be there, you know, and passed away. It was annoying. I couldn't come to the funeral or nothing. Then Amy Winehouse died as well. We were really close, and I actually flew back to Australia when that happened, and I just found out when I landed, so I couldn't go to her funeral. So it's been a tough year, but you know, we've got to keep it moving, keep their memory strong in our mind, and keep it moving, you know.
You did a couple of shows around that period as well, and in Australia, what were those experiences like? I
mean, it was deep because I was like thinking of, you know, these people in my mind when I was doing it. You know, I think it's like, you know, I'm a pretty emotional guy as it is on stage, so like, you know, that being a fuel to the fire was kind of like, you know, added to it.
When you performed in 2009, you had a big band with you. Who have you brought on the road for this show tonight?
I got my local boys over here doing it, Bradley Green and them, so it's going to be a good little setup. I like to keep it tight and compact and knock them out, you know what I mean? It should be a fun show.
Will we get a little bit of a taste of what's going to be coming in the next year?
Yeah, I'm playing some really old stuff, and I'm playing some brand new ones, and some stuff off Love and War as well. So,
how are you feeling is shaping up? What do you think has changed in you musically in the last couple of years?
I mean, I'm kind of going back a little bit to what I was doing before Love and War, which is a little bit more beat orientated stuff, like a little bit more hip hop influence in there rhythmically, you know, which harks back to when I was like 19 and 20, around Phrase when he was coming up and all those guys I was around early on. When I was producing Phrase's first album, I was making my music as well, so there was a lot of like, you know what I mean? There was a lot of kind of like similarities in sort of the outlook for that. So I'm sort of going back and digging deep for those kind of sounds and those kind of mentalities. So, you know, it should be an interesting, like, I'm putting this mixtape out, which will be a little experiment, I think, and the album will follow, so we'll see what happens.
From your base in New York, how do you feel, you know, with people like Phrase, you know, doing well on the ARIA charts and Draft, of course, as well. I mean, how does the Australian music scene look from in New York?
It's great. I mean, you know, especially, I mean, in London, you know, Australian music is so well respected. I think the bands that are out at the moment just represent Australia so well, and there's just so much talent here that I can't walk into any room without someone mentioning a bunch of different people, so it's cool.
What does it mean for you being an Australian artist, living over there?
I feel really proud. I think it's kind of like you know, it's an interesting point of difference as well. People are like, oh shit, like you're from down there, but you're influenced by this and this and this and this. That's like, you know, it's not just crocodiles, you know what I mean? So it's like, we got to, you know, we keep pushing forward, but I'm always proud. I'm always trying to wave the flag wherever I go, you know?
Well, we love seeing you do it over there. It's great seeing the success you've had. We can't wait to hear the new material.
Thanks,
so
man.
Wish you all the best of luck in 2012.
Cheers, appreciate it.
Thanks,